All right, let's talk about Azure DevOps. It's a platform built to fix one of the biggest headaches in the tech world. How do you get a brilliant idea from a developer's head onto a user screen without all the drama? We're going to see how it helps teams build and ship software way faster and, more reliably. So let's dive in.
Yeah, if you've ever worked on a software project, I'm guessing this question feels familiar. That feeling of a last-minute bug, a release that gets pushed back again and again, or a deployment that just completely fails. Teams have been wrestling with this stuff for years. But what if there was a totally different way to work?
So to really get why DevOps is such a big deal, you gotta look at what it's fixing. And for the longest time, the problem was a major conflict baked right into how tech teams were set up. It was the classic battle, dev versus ops.
And this, right here, this is the heart of the problem. You've got two teams with completely valid but totally opposite goals. The dev team, their job is to create change, to build new features as fast as possible. The ops team, their job is to prevent change that might break anything and keep things stable. When you keep them separate, you don't just get a little friction, you get total gridlock.
Okay, so that's the mess. And this is where DevOps, both as an idea and a platform, comes into the picture. It's not about one team winning out over the other. It's about completely changing the game. Azure DevOps is what gives them the tools to finally tear down that wall and get everybody on the same page.
So what is this thing, really? Well, at its core, Azure DevOps is an all-in-one platform that lives in the cloud. And the key words to focus on here are entire software development lifecycle. This isn't just a single tool for a single part of the job. Nope. It's meant to handle everything from the first spark of an idea to the coding, the testing, the deployment, and even watching how the app performs out in the real world, all from one central spot.
And this slide shows you how it works. It's not just about getting dev and ops to use the same chat app. It's about actually combining their responsibilities, and this is the most important part, automating all the handoffs between them. That automation, that's the secret sauce. It's what cuts down on human error and just massively speeds up the entire process.
All right, so let's pop the hood and see what's actually inside this platform. Azure DevOps isn't just one monolithic thing. It's really a suite of 5 main services, and each one is built to handle a specific part of that development lifecycle. Let's break them down.
First up, you've got Azure Boards. You can kind of think of this as a to-do list on steroids, but its real power is that it becomes the one single source of truth for the entire team. It gets rid of all that who's doing what confusion. Everybody can see exactly what's being worked on, by who, and when, so everyone's rowing in the same direction.
Next is Azure Repos. This is basically the secure central vault for all of your project's code, and it uses Git, which is the industry standard. This is so much more than just storage, though. It's about working together safely. It lets a bunch of developers work on the same project without tripping over each other, and it even lets you, rewind time if a change ends up causing problems. It's a huge safety net.
Now we're getting to the real engine of the whole platform, Azure Pipelines. This is where the magic of CI/CD, that's continuous integration and continuous delivery, actually happens. The best way to think about it is like an automated assembly line for your software. The second a developer checks in some new code, a pipeline just automatically kicks off, it builds the code, runs tests on it, and if everything looks good, it can push it right out to your users. This one thing eliminates most of the boring manual work and the mistakes that come with it.
Right, but all that speed doesn't matter if the software is buggy, does it? That's where Azure Test Plans comes in. This is the dedicated spot for all things quality assurance. It helps you manage and track everything, from manual tests where a person clicks through the app to all the automated tests that catch bugs before a customer ever sees them. It's all about building confidence into every single release.
And last but not least, we have Azure Artifacts. See, modern apps aren't built from scratch. They're built using tons of shared components and code libraries. Artifacts is like your team's own private library for these building blocks. It lets you create, store, and share these reusable pieces, which makes sure everything stays consistent and secure across all your different projects.
Okay, so we've seen all the individual tools. That's great. But how do they all fit together to actually make a difference? Let's look at the real-world impact now, from what happens to a single line of code all the way to how this can affect your career.
Okay, so let's walk through a real-life example. This is where it all really comes together. A developer finishes writing some new code and pushes it up to Azure Repos. Bam! That one action instantly triggers a pipeline. That pipeline automatically builds the application. Next, it runs through a whole bunch of automated tests to check for errors. If it passes everything, it deploys the new version to the cloud and immediately starts monitoring how it's performing. See? It's a completely seamless, automated flow from beginning to end.
And hey, don't let the Azure in the name fool you. One of the most powerful things about this platform is just how flexible it is. You can use Azure DevOps to build your software and then deploy it pretty much anywhere you want. That could be Microsoft's own Azure cloud or competitors like AWS and Google Cloud, or even on your own company's servers. You're not locked in.
So, why should all this matter to you? Well, because the entire tech industry has noticed how powerful this is. Companies everywhere are switching to this way of working, which means DevOps skills are worth their weight in gold. People who know how to build and manage these automated pipelines are in crazy high demand, and that demand is pushing salaries up all over the world.
So when you put it all together, the big takeaway is this. Azure DevOps isn't just another box of tools. It really is a complete ecosystem. It completely changes the game for how software gets delivered. It makes the process faster through all that automation, safer thanks to built-in testing, and way smarter by giving teams a clear view into every single step.
And really, that brings us to the final, most important question. Whether you're a developer, an IT pro, or a team lead, all the ideas and tools we've just talked about are right there, ready to be used. So the real question is, what's the first small step your team could take to start building a little bit smarter?